afternoon, YouTube. Man, the past couple of months have been absolutely crazy in this world. Forget about the pandemic that lasted 2 years and by some accounts is still going on. That's pretty much at the back of a lot of people's minds right now with what's going on in the world. We have Russia invaded Ukraine. They're threatening nuclear weapons if they don't get their way, basically. We have China. Looks like it's eyeballing a takeover of Taiwan, which would be a whole nother war for whoever wants to get involved in it to get involved in it. There's a global inflation problem. The price of everything is going up faster than wage increases can keep up with it. People can afford less. They're getting squeezed financially. When people don't have money to pay their bills and buy the food, they get a little squirrely. On top of that, it looks like we have a food crisis coming. Grain exports and production in Europe, particularly Ukraine and Russia, have either been sanctioned so that you can't get the grain exported out of there, or they're just not producing, or whatever. There's a problem with grain exports everywhere. There's a global food crisis growing, and it could become serious. If you think that was enough to make you nuts and make you start prepping, there's something else that I have noticed over the past couple months. And I don't think anybody watching this is any stranger to the Freedom Convoy or Rolling Thunder that just hit Ottawa. Demonstrations, protests against vaccine mandates, you name it, all sorts of stuff. That whole hoopla is still going on until we get to the bottom of it. And now, most of us woke up yesterday to find out that there was a leaked draft decision. It's not a decision yet. It's a draft decision. It's not the final one yet. From the Supreme Court of the United States regarding abortion rights, going all the way back to the Roe versus Wade, very famous court case on abortion rights. The fact that it appears that the Supreme Court of the United States may overturn the decision that has guided abortion laws in the States for the better part of 40 or 50 years now, has sparked, you guessed it, protests and demonstrations. What we have here now in North America is both sides of the political spectrum. The political right is protesting, and the political left is also protesting. Here's the kicker, though, and it's something people really should take into account. They're both protesting for the same thing: rights and freedoms. Think about that. The right and the left are both protesting in North America right now over rights and freedoms. Folks, this global situation, it's a lot worse than you think. And if you think that Canada and the United States isn't going to be part of the problem, or what's going on in Canada and the United States isn't going to be part of the problem, I think you're mistaken. I think you're blind to it. And I think you need to take a look and say, hey, stuff's going bad everywhere. I don't know what's going to happen next. Australia's going to invade New Zealand or something. I just don't know what else has to happen. But folks, if you haven't stepped up your preps by now, and I know I've said on the blog, don't panic. Just keep doing what you're doing. Don't panic. Don't panic. Don't go running around screaming and yelling that the sky is falling, or running around with like a chicken with your head cut off. That's not going to help anybody. But step up your preps. I know I have. I know lots of other preppers that have. And what's happening now could go very, very bad. I can't tell you if Vladimir Putin is going to hit the button or turn the keys or enter the codes or whatever he has to do to get his missiles flying. I can't tell you that. Only he can tell you if he's willing to do that. I can't tell you that crops are going to fail and there's going to be starvation worldwide. That remains to be seen. definitely some third world and some developing countries are going to be hit hard by a food crisis that's coming up. To what scale that goes to on a global level, I don't know yet. Inflation, sure, it's a global problem. But that doesn't mean it should be ignored. Everybody just seems to be throwing their hands up in the air and saying, well, it's a global problem. There's nothing we can do about it. Well, yeah, there is. It's just that everybody in the world doesn't seem to be willing to do anything about it. I can't tell you either how these protests in North America are going to end up. There's going to be political change, or if it's just going to descend into full-on riots in the streets. I don't know. But I'll tell you, with all the things that are going on now, and especially now that we have this kind of political discourse at home, problems are going to get worse before they get better. So pick up your preps, step up what you're doing, and be ready for pretty much anything, or at this point, pretty much everything. Because the way it's looking is anything can happen, and there's a possibility that everything will happen at the same time. And if we get a nuclear war going, while there's a food crisis going on, and inflation is outpacing wage increases, and we have political unrest here at home, man, I just can't see how that could end up in anything good happening out of it. So please pick up your preps. If you want to know more about what's going on outside of Canada, go check out Canadian Prepper's YouTube channel. He's got a lot of information coming in. He's got different sources than I have. I can plug into a lot of things that are happening here at home. He's got sources that are plugging him into things that are happening abroad. So you want to know more about what's going on globally, go check him out. But don't forget, please folks, don't forget, keep an eye on what's going on right here at home. Things are ramping up. Both sides of the political spectrum are now clamoring about rights and freedoms. This is not going to end well. Step up your preps. Get it moving. This could go bad pretty quickly. I'll just close with my normal tagline. Be prepared, Canada. It's a tough world out there.